Divine
Divine
Blessings.
blessings, everyone.
We are back live. We've been live all week.
Yes.
So we're so excited to introduce to you these beautiful, amazing presenters that we have for the Integrator Summit. We'll be talking about how to connect mind, body, and spirit, and most importantly, the integration of the three in order to achieve your next level of self-mastery.
And with us, this plasma is Samuel the Angelic Knight, who is a co-organizer with us. And we also have Marilyn Harper, Adironnda,
The channel of or the
the
vessel
vessel.
of Adironnda.
Yes. And she has her beautiful Channelers Academy. We have Soul Sister Lorrett and we have Esther Gates. And they're going to be talking about the energies that they bring in that amplify us on our spiritual journey.
So as we dive in, first, Samuel, introduce yourself a little bit. They're kind of familiar with us at this point.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I am Samuel the Angelic Knight, and I am a divine link. Some may call channeler. I prefer the term divine link, and I am able to step aside and connect to the higher realms and bring through the energies of ascended masters, angelics, to connect with people's soul and their higher self to help them step into their highest joy and highest good. And I helped harness these gifts by meeting Marilyn Harper, the vessel who channels the divine council, and also Adironnda. So I'm stepping into this. I am, you could say, new at this field, but I'm excited and just so blessed and honored to be here with you guys and to be helping raise the consciousness on the planet. So thank you for inviting me, Ray and Sahai.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yes.
Samuel. And for those of you who are not familiar with us, I'm Ray.
And I'm Sahat.
And we're your favorite spiritual couple. And and we're here to help you integrate. We are spiritual integrators. That is what we do. We help you integrate mind, body, and spirit. If you're struggling with emotional distress, imbalance, limiting beliefs, we help you find the true happiness within in order to get you to your next step of self-mastery. So that is what we do.
And that is the whole point of the Integrator Summit, because we are bringing that importance of combining, integrating mind, body, and spirit, because it's more than just meditating, it's more than just what you eat. It's a combination of everything that you do and compound and how you navigate in life. And we're going to be going over how you can take control over your life so that you can step into self mastery.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's dive into our presenters. Hello, everyone. Welcome,
Yes, it's so
welcome.
good to see you all.
So
It's been a while since
Good
we've
to
seen
see
it.
you all too.
Let's talk a little bit about where we all first met and how special
hello,
of a
everyone.
sacred place that was.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. It was an event that Marilyn and Lee Carroll, it was a Cryon and Adironnda event. And it was,
And Stargate. It was
and
and
Stargate, and
Stargate.
Stargate. It was so much energy in that heptad in that week. And it was next level cosmic. We went into the 14th dimension. We learned how to tap into that inner voice, and that through the power of love, how we can be that vessel.
And we learned how to channel even if we thought we couldn't. And Lorrett, Esther, and Samuel will let you know we have a weekly spiritual circle, and we unconsciously channel in that event. And part of that is because that's something that you awakened in us. So Marilyn, we'd like to give you the floor. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how you serve?
Well, thank you so much for having me on this evening and having me be a part of the Integrator Summit. I'm really quite honored that we are here together tonight and we get to be here again and again and again. It's so cool. I started off as a regular person. um, you know, and I asked to be all that I am, and somehow that meant that I was going to channel. At that moment, channeling was not even a part of my belief system. And so when I started to connect, I didn't really know where to go or what to do with this kind of information. I just was really following Adironda's guidance and the Council of Light's guidance. Um, Adironda is from the 17th dimension and has sort of tapped me on the shoulder, if you would, and there's a whole story behind that, and sometime we'll get into it. But then I began channeling and really had my first group within days, and they kept telling me that I would be teaching this one day, and lo and behold, the universe set me up really in front of an audience where Lee Carroll, a friend of mine who channels Cryon, and he turned to me and said, "Well, Marilyn, you have a step-by-step approach to teaching other people to channel. You're the only person that I know that can do that. Isn't that right?" And I'm like, um, uh, well, yes, I do. And then I developed it. I'd worked with a couple of other people before that time, and he knew about that. And but just on 7 sessions, and we worked on channeling, and they both now make their living channeling. And then so we started teaching the class how to channel, even if you think you can't. And from there, I mean, good grief, we've done it all over the world, and we're still doing it. And our next one is coming up the end of March in Branson, Missouri, and then we've got one in Sacramento in July, and then one in Dallas in October. And I think Dallas, was that where I met you and Lorrett, Soul Sister, Samuel? I don't remember. I met the three of you actually at one of those events, and then I met Ray and Sahat at the conference in Mount Shasta this past summer. Lucky us, eh?
You first met us in South Carolina, and
South
then we met
Carolina.
again in Austin.
Austin.
In Austin. So one of those Texas cities.
Yes. Well, I know that year I did 40. I was gone 46 out of 52 weekends. So it all kind of blends together after a while, and I was really thankful for COVID, that because I got to stay home. and because of that, we all learned how to do what we're doing right here, right?
Yeah.
We all learned how to do Zoom and how to restream and all of that, and that's a really wonderful thing. When Adironnda first came in, they were very strong in an accent, and I mean really strong, like Russian or Ukrainian, or some accent from that part of the world. And they said they've never spoken through a human form before, and they thought that that was the first accent that they heard, and so they thought everybody sounded like that but we all don't. And several years ago, I was told by another channel that because Adironda's energy was so strong, that I really needed to merge together with them, because many times a channel will this is one of the things that we teach in the course, is many times a channel will have physical problems, problems with their kidneys, because the human body isn't designed to run energy the size of Texas all the way through your body. And that's kind of what it is. And so with that, I'm going to see if I can turn off this little sound that's going on in the back. But with that energy, I learned how to merge the energy together, me with Adironnda, and we've been doing that ever since. It has been quite a journey. We started doing we did How to Channel Even If You Think You Can't. I think it was 2015 or 16, maybe 17. I don't remember what year we started it, but it was so popular, and we had so many people that asked us, where do we go from here? What do we do now? That we did indeed develop the Channelers Academy, which is, Lorrett, Soul Sister, Esther Gates, and Samuel Hebert, Samuel the Shining Knight, are all a part of that. I call him the Shining Knight because he shines a lot. I know he's the Angelic Knight, but he's pretty shining in my eyes. and and that's where we kind of took it step by step, and the whole academy was every exercise was channeled, and we all put that together, and these three are stars from the class, really, from the academy, the first year that we did it in 2020, and it was pretty significant. I'm so proud. I'm like a proud mama, Look at them go.
Love that.
I absolutely love that. And I would love to hear from both Esther and Lorrett. Tell us a little bit about your journey going through the Channelers Academy. What was your life like beforehand? And then what is it like now that you have divine energies flowing through you?
We can start with Esther.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on tonight. Um, Awakening in 2018, that was quite intense. I had been real and listening to Jane Roberts' channel, and I had it was incredible awakening. It's a long story, but experiences that were just hard to explain, but very surreal started coming in. And I met Marilyn at a Lee Carroll Cryon event, and I was interested in trying to control what was flowing in. And I hadn't started her school yet. And so it was not that long after, though. And that was the amazing thing, was that we all got together, and what happened channeling under her, she was having regular meetings, Zoom meetings. It was amazing because she really one-on-one or any questions that we had, she would partner us up with others that were learning, give us exercises to do, and it was an amazing experience, and it was so worth it. It was a real commitment to do that. Usually, like, they give you a month or something, and that's it, or even a week, but of instruction. And it was unbelievable what we learned, and we all progressed. And then since she gave me that confidence, allowed us to be part of her double-digit program that she has once a month, and we started getting us in front of the camera and getting used to the idea of doing it in front of people. And it came through for me is called the Esther Group, and they are a Pleiadian conscious fifth dimension, is how they describe themselves. And so I started channeling them, a couple channeling ascended masters. I also am a medium, so I transitioned. I was getting downloads on Akashic records for people, and I still do sessions with people. But the channeling, the Esther Group, is amazing. They give me a lot of information that's timely now, and totally supported that. Lorrett and Samuel have also been part of my journey, channeling together on YouTube. We each all have our own thing now, doing that. I will say, though, that it was with her encouragement, and she's so when you want someone for inspiration, when you want someone to say, she's the person that you can go to for that. And so that's how I learned, and it's been phenomenal. And I'm still learning and I'm still growing. And but those experiences I had with her and her help, me practice, also was important to get your confidence, make you feel good about what you're doing. That I think anyone can channel. We all humans have the ability to do that. They all have the ability to talk to someone, that each and every person know that they can go directly to their higher self, to whatever angelic being, or whatever they feel. And so whether you use it as a profession or not, that benefits you in your life for getting connected to your inner self. So that was my path, and like I say, I'm still learning, but I truly appreciate what we did together and the journey that we're on.
I love that.
Thank you. That is amazing. And Esther, we love you dearly. And we are all still learning, but if I may say so myself, you are a master. What the things you do and the energies and just the clear, just precise messages that you give are amazing. How you channel the galactics and the angelics. And if I right now you are actually with Marilyn, and you guys are at a channeler's retreat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I traveled today. I'm on my way. I'm at a hotel tonight, and I will be with her. So, but yes, we are at a retreat for everyone that's been in the cast annual retreat to go to. So I'm quite excited because we are in Florida and I'm from Indiana. So I went from very cold weather to very warm. So we'll be seeing Marilyn tomorrow.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the retreat, what you're most excited about?
I think when we get together, she guides us through an intent. And if it was anything like last year, we spend like 5 days. We do different exercises that she leads us through, because she's had many these types of retreats. And even she can tell you she doesn't always know exactly what she's going to do, but she channels, and during that time she records. It is a high frequency event, so that anything on in your life, you get clarity. And by the time you leave there, I was amazed at how different I checked with other people, and it's like your path just whoosh. It's like when you do those high intensive, we'll call them, we stay together for all those days, and through it with the many different things that we do. It's like I say, she doesn't always have it planned. It's kind of what comes to her, but we do journaling together and a bunch of different exercises to release trauma or emotional things. We all practice channeling together. Very high frequency intensive is what I would call it. And it is life changing each time to the next level. So that's why it's important.
So
Thank you.
it sounds like, as we've learned from Marilyn, how to channel, and the Channelers Academy is really getting in touch with your higher self and source, and learning how you perceive and how you hear the God within and the God without. And then going to the retreats just amplifies that, and it's an incubator to go to the next level. And we're super excited because you guys are on this retreat, and so you guys will be bringing all that energy, all that love to our viewers and to everyone who tunes in to the Integrator Summit, and we'll be integrating those divine energies through them. So that'll be super dope. Next, I would like to introduce someone incredibly special to me. All of them are, but this person has a unique contract with me. I would, she's gonna be mad that I'm gonna reveal this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The next person I'm introduce is such a divine being, such a lovely being. She is such a love letter to the world and my greatest love letter to me. She is who I call the Empress, the divine feminine, Lorrett Soul Sister, my mother. Lorrett Soul Sister, thank you so much for joining us on this Integrator Summit. And also, I'd like to ask you, how did a little bit about your journey spiritually, because I know it is quite vast. And so tell us a little bit, like before you became a active channeler, some of your spiritual experiences, and then meeting Marilyn and how that has played a significant role in your life and traveling the world and just stepping into all that you are, and then being able to transfer that and mold that into the person you help bring through.
Oh, thank you, Samuel, the Angelic Knight. Since you went there, I'm going to say I tried to rip up that contract so many times.
Not, it's eons old.
However, certain people can attest. We've been doing this eons after eons, so it is as it's supposed to be. But before I go there, there's one thing, and Esther, I love you so much, but there's one thing I was waiting to hear you say. The fun you all have on the retreat, man. That's what I go for. It's the fun. Anyway, it's yes, it's a lot of work, high vibration and all that, but it's so much fun. And that is part of the signature of what Marilyn does. Her workshops, what we call workshops, are plurkshops because it's play plus work. And honestly, I guess laughter and joy is part of the things that lifts your vibration and keeps it high. And somehow Adironnda and the Council of Light figured out how to get it all in there and use this amazing vessel to just make us all giddy, stupid little children as we learn in gobs and gobs of very valuable, interesting. So I just thought I'd give you that plug. Okay, so back to me, moi. So it's interesting you said before I started to channel, because after learning about what channel is and all the gifts that go along with channel and all the various ways in which a person channels, then I realized that I had been channeling basically all my life. And so I know that you could say, in a layman's term, spirit was strong with you for a long time. But as many people experience when they're young and you're innocent, you will see things and you blurt it out. And it may not go down so well. You go through these experiences, and because you're an innocent child and it looks perfectly normal to you, you are anxious to tell adults about it, But after a while, you learn that you need to pretend it never happened. So throughout your life, or my life, let me speak for myself, you go through these periods where, spirit is saying, this is who you are. It's okay. This is real. And you enjoy it. And then you pull back and then you go forward and so on. And so it wasn't until, and during the period, I learned a great deal. I mean, I learned from Lobsang Rampa. I think his books, You Forever and Chapters of Life and so on, those were some of the first things I read. And of course, the set material from Jane Roberts and so on, and of course, that talks to the fact that I'm only 23. So, but it wasn't until I actually retired and removed corporate away from me. And I could look at being who I was and what I wanted to do. And somehow I started tuning into Cryon. And then I'm like, well, what am I doing all of this time? This is what my guides have been saying. And when Cryon would say, oh, soul, we know who is out there and so on. And it resonates so deeply with me, some of the things it says. So at that, the very week, I listened to about 3 or 4 or 5 of his channels. And then I looked him up and I saw that very weekend, he had something coming up in Philadelphia, near Philadelphia. And I booked a ticket and I headed for Philadelphia. And there was Marilyn Harper with Adironnda. So, interestingly enough, at that, there is this wonderful little lady who channeled. And then she started doing these acrobatic feats. She changed entirely. She was waving these magical swords, the selenite swords, up on one leg. And this was, I would say, the goddess being Sekhmet coming through her. And I thought, this is amazing, because what make me know that this is real, Lee is real, and she is real, is the complete transformation. When Adironnda comes, she changes. You don't, you'd have to be blind not to see Adironnda come through. But when Sekhmet comes, and she's doing her acrobatic things and just moving and dancing as light as a feather. And then Sekhmet did her thing and pointed her swords at me and activated me. That was interesting. So the next thing I had to do is find out, okay, what is Marilyn doing next? And so that is when, and so that first event with Lee was in 2019. The next event I went to, I think it was July 2019, and then September 2019, she was doing something in Wilmington, and I dragged my son along and say, come on, we got to go do this. And that's the first time he met Marilyn. And at that particular time, why it was so life-changing for me is, as Adironnda was going and doing these sort of individual guidance and sharing, I felt this huge, abundant spirit of unconditional love. And I'm like, oh my God, in my head, I'm saying, Master Yeshua is here. You could feel his presence, and there's nothing. I mean, my body just uncontrollably just starts shaking and crying. The love was so powerful. It was so enormous. I was just crying. He was his power was so great. It was just moving through me. And then his voice came through. And you knew he was there, as he is right now with me. So it is these amazingly powerful kind of events and transformations and activations that allowed me the confidence that when she started the Channels Academy, we were some of the first. I said, yes, we're in. We didn't ask the cost. We didn't ask how, what, why. We just knew that this was going to be something special, because many of us are familiar with the Christian Bible, and we're familiar with he who is called Jesus, Master Yeshua ben Joseph. His words is, whatever I do, you too can do, and even more. And that was brought home to me so powerfully that it gave me the total knowledge, not just the belief, not just the faith, but the knowledge. I knew that I could be a clear channel. And even though, because of the religious shaping that had gone inside of me, I was still questioning, yes, he said that. I know I can do that. But what is the church going to say?
Mm.
And it was interesting as we developed, as we went through the process of learning the remote writing. You can call it remote, you can call it channeled writing. Mother Mary came through and answered those questions for me. And they both, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, both the Marys, and Master Yeshua came through and showed me, says, just follow me. And first they would speak to me in song. Oh, some of the songs I would hear just playing in my head when I asked questions. They would answer me with those words from song. And just like, no. This is a normal part of what humanity is. And the greatest priests, teachers, whatever, they're a link to the divine. So that was my before, and this is my now.
What a beautiful transition.
Yes, very profound. And I know that's just the tip of the iceberg, and just a short amount of space. I would love to ask each one of you, what does the importance of mind, body, and spirit integration play into being that open channel for spirit, for being that vessel?
And we would love if all three of you can actually answer this question. So we'll have you go, and then let's have all of you answer.
Yes.
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
How does mind, body, and spirit, that integration, the importance of that play into you being that open channel, that
vessel?
Yes.
Lorrett,
so you want me to continue and go first? Yes.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I think of us, the human, as with the four bodies, and to be one, to heal, there has to be an integration of the spiritual, the mental, the physical, the mind, body, spirit, as you call it. Because if there isn't that integration, the oneness cannot be achieved. So let's say one would be let's say you're just trying to go in, to meditate, to be still and know know the God within. But your mental and your psychological aspect is off kilter, then you won't achieve that. If your physical is off kilter, it's very hard to achieve that. I mean, you got some serious pain going on. Let's say you got a toothache going on or some other pain. It's very hard to achieve that. But that is the personal level. You could say that's the microcosm, although it is not, but let's say that. But in your interaction with others, the mind, the spirit, the soul of the others, trying to get to that balance, us reaching one, us understanding that we're not just one in terms of we are from the one source. We share the one. Whatsoever I do unto you, I do unto me, that oneness. But the fact that with that balance, one person, one mind, body, soul, spirit, one, the one me, when joined to the one you and the one other and so on, what we think of individual oneness, if we think of it in the terms of duality, when we are linked, when we hold together, we absolutely change the world. And Sahat mentioned earlier the experiences we had going up to the 14th dimension level of, that frequency level, and putting our intention in, changing things, reorganizing things. That is part of the oneness. At least that is how I understand it, and that's how I believe it.
Beautiful.
We're muted.
Thank you. Esther, if you'd like to answer that same question, we'd love to hear from you.
It's hard to follow up on that. I was going to say. So with you all putting together, it's important for everyone to get together into the oneness, harmony, the mind, body, spirit. And as let's repeat basically what she said is that we have a conflict inside. Usually there's a duality, we want to do or be, and how we feel. All these things need to be aligned to oneness as you find that peace within yourself. And in that frequency, you unite with others, actually expands the consciousness of the human collective. And that's when the transformation of the earth can happen. But it starts with you as an individual by putting this collective together. It's the beginning of people looking at their self first. For that individual, we're going to show them how to do that. The mind, body, and spirit. You have something on each summit that someone can apply to their life to help align their being. And I really looked at this when I saw what you were planning. And in that, you raise your frequency. So you become aligned in your body. You have that in yourself. And that's what you radiate out. That creates your reality. And if you group, it's much more powerful. So that is actually the way that changed. That is what the human collective has requested. And it happens in stages, how you're going to do it. And you all are part of the forefront of showing people it in your life, in real life, not just talking about it. We're going to some tools that you can use in your life so that you can really transformation, and that your reality will shift around you. I've had it happen to me, and as you get into that frequency and of the mind, body, and spirit you're working on at a time in stages, it's not overwhelming. And the more you do it, the easier your life gets. So this is something that can be very beneficial for anyone that listens. It's kind of my explanation or how I see it.
Thank you. I love that. Beautifully articulated.
That was beautifully articulated.
So, Marilyn Harper.
The vessel.
The vessel.
The vessel.
Talking about integration. I mean, you integrated 17th dimensional energy. So how did mind, body, and spirit integration like play a important part on your journey?
Well, first of all, I have to thank Lorrett Soul Sister and Esther Gates out. I mean, whoa, we've done well. Good job, good job. The mind, body, and spirit. The whole thing is an integration, and when you set the intention to live at the highest frequency possible, live the highest vibration possible, and then things start shifting around, because that's a part of the channeling nuance, if you would. And you have to, you connect with the mind, but you really connect with the heart first, and that's the heart and soul of the body. And you have to get to know how you are moving through the world, how you are moving through the frequency, how you are showing up for your world, so you can indeed shift that consciousness. And when you do, that's where the integration comes in. By shifting your own consciousness. I have to give you an example. I was with some people today, and this was not during the Channelers Academy retreat that we're getting ready for tomorrow, but I was with someone, and they kept saying things like, all men never ask directions, and oh, the stupid driver, and oh, somebody always gets in my way. And it's like, hello, change your bracelet. That's your purchase order to the world. So you see, that's because that integration of the mind, body, and spirit has not happened. And with that energy, when you actually integrate all of that and learn to live at that higher frequency, learn to 24/7, that higher frequency, that higher vibration becomes your second nature or your first nature. That's your go-to. And the drivers don't ever get in your way. And if they do, then you must have some reason to slow down. The people always ask directions, and it's such a different way of life. And whether you channel or not, I mean, I believe, as each of them have said, everyone can channel, everyone can be the vessel, everyone can bring in information from a source outside of their body, or a source outside of their consciousness. Maybe that's it. Because all the guides and teachers, the angels, everybody is all within you. Master Yeshua, Jesus, the Christed one. I mean, Adironnda is from the 17th dimension. So first of all, I had to raise my frequency to that level in order for them to match that energy. And so that's where the integration comes in, is you get the opportunity to learn. And we teach this in the How to Channel Even If You Think You Can't class. We teach it in the Channelers Method and the Channelers Academy, because I'm guided to do that. Can you tell? And I feel really passionate about it. Is that, can you imagine what the world would be like if everyone were completely integrated, that they knew themselves inside and out? They knew their, when they feel like they have weaknesses, when they have strengths, when they, because we're not all great at everything. Some people are great at this and some people are great at that, and one thing or another. And it's so amazing when we're all living that life that, makes our hearts sing, that in an integrated fashion, that raises our consciousness, that raises our frequency, that raises our vibration. Our vibration is what is happening right here inside of your physical form. And the frequency is what's happening all outside in your world, in your field. And so with that energy, and once you learn how to harness that energy by integrating it, by integrating the way of life, by integrating catching yourself when your vibration shifts and lowers, or catches yourself when your frequency lowers, that power causes the integration, as Lorrett Soul Sister said, into the oneness, as Esther said, into the conscious energy that happens in the heart, the mind, the soul, the body, the spirit, the field, your neighborhood, the planet, and beyond, because it really makes the difference among them all. So that's where I have to commend you to Ray and Sahat to have that realization of integrators, and that it all is a powerful integration. And once you integrate that, and by integrating it, you also get to step your ego aside. But once you integrate that and learn to step your ego aside, which is another thing we teach in the class, that frequency comes in so powerfully that integration is purely the step that you're taking into that oneness with spirit, that united energy that can really happen no other way than you living your truth and living your life and living that energy of oneness, that energy of the highest vibrational frequency, in matching a 17th dimensional being. I now know there's like 144 dimensions, and Adironnda never says that the 144th dimension is better, higher than the 152nd, or they're actually been telling me about 152 dimensions, which blows my mind a little bit. But one is not better than the other, or they don't give it a hierarchy in any way, which is dimensional living, and when Adironnda came in from the 17th dimension, in the beginning, before I started channeling, this was 1999. I actually had dreams of going into this place that, and I didn't realize that they were not dreams, that I left my body at night and went into this dimensional reality, which is where Adironnda connected with me originally. And it's, I think that that's what we're all attempting to do, is learn to live in the highest frequency possible, and then live that 24/7. And that is when we learn to live that 24/7, that is where that integration happens of the mind, body, and soul, the mind, body, spirit. That frequency there is the necessary ingredient to truly being all that you are. Does that answer your question?
That was so eloquently put.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Definitely. I love that.
That was a cosmic answer.
Thank you.
There
Yes.
you go. There you go.
Yes. And so we've got some, I think all of us are kind of feeling the energy flowing here. We would love to invite Adironnda.
Okay.
There's a major gathering here right now.
It is. The ascended ones are here.
They are.
Yeshua is here as well. I feel
wow.
it.
Yes. Major gathering.
So it is good day to you, huh? Oh, look at you, each one of you. You are there in the brilliant light and effectiveness of this planet. Yes, integrators. This is where it is at. Because you see, for those that you do not know, me, us, we are Adironnda. And we bring with us an entire council of beings of light that are here on your behalf. And with Samuel, the dearest angelic knight, and Esther, the sweet soul of energy, and Lorrett, soul sister, the power of frequency, you each have that connective force. Ray and so hot, your light is so brilliant, we need sunglasses in order to see you. And in that energy, we don't know if you realize exactly what it is that you're here doing. So if we may share just a few moments of that frequency. And then if you have a question, of course, you can ask it. But what we are seeing when we connect with your energy, as we look into that frequency, we see the vessel Marilyn. She has this picture that has a globe on it, that lights go all around the globe. And that is what you're doing. You are expanding the energy right here, and you're bringing it out and tapping places all over the planet. And as you do, that energy illuminates. You know, it only takes 51% of the world to shift, of the entire world to shift. And we are at 26, 27% now of light plurkers. And that, and you know, play plus work equals plurk. So Lorrett Soul Sister already told you that. So in that frequency, you really have less than 20% more to go before the entire planet shifts. And so you each, Ray and Sahat, are playing your part. You're bringing forth that energy, because the consciousness of this planet, the planet itself, as you know, is in the fifth dimension. Even though we know there are some people that say that part of it is in the fourth dimension and part of it is in the third dimension and blah, blah, blah. Well, how can that be? It is one planet. It is one group of people. You are here. Now, some are having a little more difficult time recognizing that. But to live in that fifth dimensional frequency, you must integrate. You must have that energy of one line with the mind, the body, the soul, the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. And when one is out of balance of another, well, then half of them are turning another way. You know, it is so powerful when you think of even just 10 years ago or 20 years ago, a very short time ago, that you would go to a movie or something and they would never talk about interdimensionality. They would never talk about, you know, the adventures of space besides in the last frontier. But now, even the movie industry, billboards are teaching you that everything is possible. The shift of humanity is experiencing a quickening, you know, because in the first 15, 18 year of our presence through the vessel Marilyn, and through that time period, we went from, you know, not that far in the percentage of people that are awakened on this planet. Now, they may not all call themselves a light plurker, or they may not even call themselves a light worker, but they are living that integrated frequency of doing good. They are living that frequency of love, and their task for each day is to connect with that frequency. And it just takes a few more to move that energy all into the same direction. So as that happens, that is the reason we are here. We are here to help each person on this planet feel what it feels like to be held in pure, complete, infinite love. Now, we want you to understand that even our existence on this planet has transformed in the last 23 years. For you see, in the beginning, we were holding you in unconditional love. But as you know, dearest beings of light, even when you started with the negative, what is that, a prefix or something, on, that discounts the energy. So that is where your language, your thinking, your feeling existence comes in so plainly, that you are now in infinite love, in infinite love. And that infinity, as you've got the infinity symbol on your picture screen here, we don't know if that's yours or someone else's, or maybe we just are imagining it, but we see it on the screen, yes? And that is the frequency of the new world. that infinite potential. Master Yeshua, as Lorrett's soul sister said, you, whatever we can do, you can do better than. Huh? You know that old song, whatever you can do, I can do better. Well, whatever we all can do, everyone can do it better. And that is that power-filled energy. So, and that is why we are gathering people together to channel, to learn to live at that frequency, at that vibrational energy, so you can more easily integrate what it is that you're doing, saying, experiencing, and having. Does that make sense to each of you? Huh?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adironnda.
Yes.
Thank
Do you have a
you.
question or anything? Huh?
What could you give to the listeners now and future listeners, quote unquote, that they can carry into their frequency to bring them closer to their magnificence within them?
Well, first of all, we would have to say that they simply need to start with watching the Integrator Summit. Yes, we do. Yes, yes, because that brings them new ideas, new frequencies, new energies, new people, new places, new scenes, new acknowledgements, and then they get to use their BS detector to see which one fits with them and which one doesn't. Yes, and in that capacity, if you were to pick one thing that you can do right now to help yourself integrate your mind, your body, your soul, we would say to give yourself the gift of stillness once a day, even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, to simply sit with yourself and breathe into your center, your core, your heart, and ask, show me how to connect with my love. Show me how to connect with my soul. Show me how to connect with the highest vibrational being that I am. And then be still and listen. Everyone has guides, angels that are connecting with them. Everyone has that. They also have their ego that is connecting. So if you say, let me listen, and your guide say, oh, well, you're going to be president of the United States. You may be, but that is not the common answer. You see what we say? Because that is your ego, or your ego says, oh, they don't really want to talk to you. Well, that is your ego speaking. So if you have to learn to set that aside. So instead, just listen and be very, very still. And as you are, get your pen and paper and start jotting down whatever comes to mind. Because in that stillness, we would say that in the stillness, Ray, you and Sahat and even Samuel, the angelic knight, and Esther and Lorrett, soul sister, all of you sat in the stillness and got the message to Integrator Summit. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we may be making it up, but say yes anyway, huh?
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
All of you got the message when Samuel contacted the vessel Marilyn and said, could you do this? She said, well, I'm busy doing this and doing that and doing everything else. But she sat with it in the stillness and heard very clearly, yes, yes. And you see, that is what it is. So learn to sit. It doesn't have to be for hours on end, but sit in the stillness once a day or twice a day and be ready to follow the guidance that you are receiving, because the guidance is coming through. They may tell you to go to the grocery store or go to the market or whatever, and you think, oh, why am I doing that? Well, because there is someone there in the market that you are to meet, or some card that you are to pick up that has a superior message for your soul. So you get the opportunity to learn to sit in the stillness, and then you get the opportunity to learn to trust the message that is received. And we know that trust is one of the hardest things that a new messenger, a new divine link in this world has, that trust. These three beings have learned to trust and follow that guidance implicitly because they learn to set their ego aside. They learn to step that aside and learn when it starts rearing its beautiful head. But then they learn to trust and say yes to the opportunity, trust and say yes to the messages, just as you too, Ray and Sahat, did. And Samuel the Angelic Knight said yes, and Esther said yes, and Lorrett Soul Sister said yes as well. Because at first, sometimes you may think that you can't, oh, I can't do this. It's just too much. It's just too big. I'm not ready. The universe will never give you anything that you're not ready for. So trust that that will stretch you to where you need to be so you can stand full force into your energy. Does that answer your question?
Oh, so beautifully.
Yes.
You got me in
Absolutely.
tears.
Yes.
Oh, my chakras are lit up.
Ah, well, we do know that your time is limited here, so and we want everyone to connect with you in the future. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we are going to bid you and let you know that we love you deeply. We see you, we know you, we feel you. We feel the excitement twitterpating in the vessel Marilyn's hearts. We see that energy. We bid you namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you,
I
Adironnda.
love you.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Whew.
Namaste.
Thank you. Oh, man.
Namaste right here in this energy.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
That brought me to tears, and I just will quickly say ditto to everything. But there, I feel my throat chakra just bursting and saying that, and you asked the question, Marilyn, and you answered it. But the question you asked, what would it be like if everyone on the planet was fully integrated and living in their divine true nature? And I was reminded by the words of Master Yeshua, in fact, the prayer that he taught us, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What does that mean? It means, as you say, when the majority of all of us are living in that fullness, we will transform this reality to heaven. And as you say, where do we start with that? By being still. Be still and know that the kingdom of heaven is within you. I love that because we are divine treasure. And that treasure is innate. We are divine beings and we are fingerprints of source, fingerprints of God, each with our unique soul song and signature. And as you say, by learning to speak to God, by learning to speak to the God within, by learning to integrate so that your mind and your thoughts are filled with self-love and are matching, learning to feel it in your body and honoring the divine temple that holds our infinite spirit, and then allowing our spirit within to continue to expand in the ocean that is unconditional love. We become exactly as Master Yeshua tried to remind us, are ye not gods as well? Verily I say unto you, all things that I do, you can do as well, even greater than I. For those, sometimes those words can be confusing Some may even say that, when they say that's kind of blasphemous because they don't understand. When he says, I am the truth, the way, and the life, he is saying that how I live fully integrated in the will of Source, how I live fully integrated as a divine being manifested. You too are that. Are ye not heirs to the kingdom of heaven? All of us are. And I am so blessed and lucky to be here in this time with you, beautiful souls, with all the archangels and the ascended ones, and with each of you, masters, to be able to kindle the fires of love within each person who listens, and even those who may not see the Integrator Summit, the reverberations that we are causing. We are a catalyst for great, great inspiration and motivation that Gaia itself feels and all feels. I am honored and filled with such love. I thank you, Marilyn. I thank you, Marilyn, for saying yes. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for giving us the gift of your wisdom and your love. I am so excited. Even as a presenter, I am so excited to continue to see what you present at the Integrator Summit and all the work you continue to do, Master Ray, Master Sahat, your wisdom, your bright star, how you guys are just illuminescent and growing. And of course, Esther and the Esther group. Thank you for your genuine joy and clarity and sincerity. And you've always just been like, yes, and so loving. And of course, soul sister, I do not have the words to articulate my gratitude for you in this time and other lifetimes, but I will say, I thank you for your courage, your enduring love, and just how big of a heart you have for this world and all. And to our viewers, me, the Angelic Knight, that is a title that I choose to adopt from an angel that visited me when I was a child. And we all are angelic knights. We all are divine beings, and we all get the opportunity to say, I am possible. And when we say that, Source, God, the universe looks us back, gazes at us with such a love, such a wonder, and says, what else is possible? What else will we create together? Let us continue to create love, understanding. Let us be contagious with love and understanding. I'll see you guys at the Integrator Summit, and I am excited. And thank you. And I am a service to each of you all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
You heard what Spirit said. We only need about 20% more to flip this, so let's do this. Ow.
Did you just owl everybody?
Yes, here we go.
Oh man, I feel
We
a
do it.
party.
We out
That
here.
was, man, that was like a cosmic convo. Like, that's oh my gosh, we are gathering the Super Bowl of spiritual stuff, man. This is fun. It's
Yes.
it's dope. It's so much coming. It's like we told you. We told you. You have no idea.
The
I
Justice
keep
League.
yes, I keep hearing Kron's voice. We know who's here. We know it's coming. You have no idea. Like it's like all of them on the other side is like, we've been seeing this. We waiting on y'all. Like we like now you get to see the 5,000 foot view of what's going on, the intricacies, man. So
It's
it's beautiful.
I find it interesting the gathering that is here, the amount of energy that is here. And there are actually only 6 of us, 6 physical beings that has attracted so many.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. If there are listeners and viewers there who can't feel it, in fact, I'm going to challenge it. Those of you who can feel this enormous energy, put something in the chat. Just put a heart, put something, say yay, ashe, whatever. If you can feel it, put a heart.
We
Anybody?
have some We have some
Because it was
amazing
amazing.
feedback.
We do have a ashe in the chat.
We have some wow.
We have some wows.
You're all amazing.
You're amazing.
I love it. Yes.
My first eye is like, I feel so much pressure. It's like, you know.
So
Oh
we are beyond excited, everyone, to host this for you all. It is February 18th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go ahead and do the math, whatever time zone you're in. And it is going to be an outstanding collaborative event where we are bringing amazing and dynamic speakers to the stage and experts in their field to bring to you value on how to integrate mind, body, and spirit. It is time to step into your true divinity, to step into your true power, and to embrace your magnificence.
This is
Join
going to
us.
shift the global consciousness.
Absolutely.
So we want to personally thank everyone who has been a part of this. Thank each and every one of our speakers, our presenters, our divine channels of light. And this has just been truly cosmic. Thank you all for being a part of this. We love you.
Namaste.
And we will see you all on the 18th.
Yes. I have a beautiful plasma.